I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
He's alive, and he's here, and he wants revenge because I sent him to prison.
The one shot that made him a hero
I got things to live for.
is back
I'm fighting for what used to be my life.
to make him a target.
I'm gonna do something far worse than kill you.
Denzel Washington, John Lithgow, Ice-T,
Ricochet.
Ricochet,
You gonna be cool here.
rated R.
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is another request, this time from Alban, and it is for the film Ricochet. Now, if anyone wants to request any other type of videos, feel free. It doesn't have to be just a review, but it can be, or a re-review, or it could be pretty much anything. You just send either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, Ricochet is a film from 1991. And you have Russell Mulcahy directing this. And Russell Mulcahy, he's a director that can bring a lot of style to a picture. In particular, Highlander, yes, even Highlander 2. This film he did with Lambert called Resurrection. Resurrection is in the style of Seven. Christopher Lambert, or sometimes pronounced Christophe Lambert, he plays a cop who is investigating a case where the killer is murdering people to rebuild the body of Jesus Christ. Interesting idea. Like I said, very much in the tone, the feel, the look of Seven. Resurrection, I highly recommend. But Russell Mulcahy did this, I believe this was after... Actually, I don't know if this was... It was around the same time of Highlander 2. I think he did this film with Cocaine called Blue Ice, and Silent Trigger he would do with Dolph Lundgren. So overall, I do like him as a director. And like I said, he does bring a certain sense of style to this movie. The opening credits, with the gun, the bullet slowly coming out of the barrel, and then the title Ricochet and a bullet going through the O in Ricochet. Now, the original story was from Fred Decker, who directed The Monster Squad, directed Night of the Creeps, wrote House from the 80s. I guess at one point he was going to direct the film, and you might have had Kurt Russell in the lead. Would have been interesting to see how that would play out. But the film you have Denzel Washington. Very early role from Denzel. Very different role. Like very energetic and full of youthful energy. He's on the beat along with his buddy played by Kevin Pollak. Kevin Pollak, he was in A Few Good Men. He played Arnold Schwarzenegger's partner in End of Days. Been in a lot of stuff. And so what happens is one day they're on patrol, they're at this carnival, this fair. Meanwhile, John Lithgow, who would later be the villain in Cliffhanger, he was with Sylvester Stallone, he was in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. He's just this fun, scenery chewing, over the top. And that's one thing about this movie. It is over the top. If the over the topness bothers you, I don't know how much you enjoy this film. You can't go into this film thinking realistically, or you'll lose. There's stuff that you go, what? And why is this guy behaving this way? And what the fuck is that? I mean, when John Lithgow goes to prison, Jesse Ventura, Predator, The Running Man, wrestling, John Lithgow beats him up, and then they decide to settle it as Aryan warriors. So they get books and taped to their fucking chest and arms like armor, and John Lithgow and Jesse Ventura in prison in this like cafeteria have swords, or kind of swords, doing this sword fight that's Russell Mulcahy wanted to do an ode to Highlander. So think about that. John Lithgow from Harry and the Hendersons is fighting Jesse fucking Ventura in prison with books, foam books as armor, wannabe swords, and camera work akin to Highlander. It's entertaining. It's entertaining. John Lithgow early on is shooting people with shotguns, squibs, bloody. Denzel Washington stops him because John Lithgow has a gun in order to take him off guard. He's like, look, I'm not having a wire. I have no other weapons. I'll show you. And Denzel starts taking off his clothes in the middle of this fair, this carnival. And then he's only in his underwear. And he goes, listen, now the only weapon I got now is useless. It's useless to you unless you're a pretty girl. And there's some entertaining lines of dialogue. That's one. Earlier, when John Lithgow has the girl as a hostage, he says something to the fact of, if you don't leave me alone, she's going to need a paper bag over her head when her boyfriend fucks what's left of her. And yeah, Denzel, their performances are definitely over the top. Chewing the scenery. It's a buffet. It's a goddamn buffet. But it's entertaining. At the end of the day, sometimes that's what you want. The music is by Alan Silvestri, very reminiscent of Predator. That's with Alan Silvestri around this time when he got hired in an action film. They kept wanting him to do Predator, which makes sense because Predator is a classic score, as is Predator 2. Then when he did Judgment Night, he did this movie. Again, they just kept wanting him to do another Predator type of score. So this score does sound similar to the Predator score. But yeah, Denzel takes off his clothes. He has a gun hidden. Takes out John Lithgow. Gets arrested. Gets humiliated. While Denzel becomes a hero. And time passes by. He becomes a DA. And he's either talking with his childhood friend that he doesn't talk to anymore. He's a drug dealer. Played by Ice-T. And he's being very successful as a DA. He's got a wife. He's got kids. Things are going well for him. Meanwhile, John Lithgow is... Jesse Ventura said, you got busted on America's Home Videos. And then John Lithgow goes, fuck yourself, cream cake. And that's when they have the fucking Highlander book armor fight. And this is an entertaining film. I keep mentioning that. When he goes up for the parole, he's talking to the guy, and he's like, what are you going to do when you get out? I'm going to visit your house. Oh, to thank me? And John Lithgow goes, no. I'm going to fuck your wife. And your daughter. Hell, maybe your dog. And this is a pretty violent film at times. When things go haywire and there's a prison escape, one person comes in and drills someone in the fucking neck. Like, Jesus Christ. So John Lithgow gets out, fakes his death, and now he wants revenge on Denzel. He wants to ruin his reputation, ruin his life, and make him suffer like he did in prison with the humiliation and more so. So he kills someone he knows, makes it look like they were a cross-dresser, makes them think they're child molesters, which is interesting to watch nowadays, because there's a part of me that goes, why are they so easy to believe that Denzel would do this? Why are they so easy to believe? But then I took a step back and I went, well, we live in the day and age of cancel culture, and that's kind of a precursor to cancel culture. Even though there's reasons this is obviously not the case, we're easy to condemn someone. And even this, I wouldn't even say there's much proof. If he's a DA successful, you don't think anyone would want revenge on him? Wouldn't that come into play? Script, story? Wouldn't people be like, well, wait a minute. I mean, especially when his wife is doubting him. I mean, later on there's a moment where John Lithgow kidnaps him and drugs him. Pretty cool scene where they get in an arm wrestling thing and Lithgow keeps trying to fuck with his head. And I like the way the director shoots it, so it's like they're on even playing fields. And both actors, I thought, worked well in the movie. Yes, over the top. Yes, chewing the scenery. But entertaining, fun, not boring in the slightest, their performances, as they're doing this arm wrestling thing. And so they drug him, and they hire a hooker to ride him. And then the tape gets shown. And I'm sitting there going, look at the tape. He's like this. Don't you think that's a bit weird? Like, wait a minute. He's not moving one fucking bit. He's knocked out. Don't you think that's a bit weird? I mean, lady, you're his wife. You've had sex with him. I think you know what he's like when he has sex. Is that what he's like when he has sex? Just... if that is, then maybe you have more issues than watching this tape that's doctored. Or, you know, it's manipulated into, because he drugged him and such. Denzel's wife, the character, again, you're doubting him. He's like this. Is that how he has sex with you? Like this? Again, if that's the case, then you have more problems than we know about. It seemed obvious he was drugged, but again, maybe it's a precursor to the cancel culture. Whatever. But there are certain actions. For example, Denzel sees a tape where John Lithgow is in his kid's room. Instead of calling someone, getting a call to someone, instead he runs out in his bathrobe with a gun, knocks someone down, almost shoots him. It's a guy with a clown outfit. I'm going, there are a lot smarter ways. I get it. It's emotions running high. You don't always think the right course of correction. But it's like, you're doing really stupid shit, Denzel, that is making John Lithgow's character win easier and easier. Which is weird, because early on, there's a babysitter with his kids. John Lithgow comes by. Could no one show her any of these pictures? Like, these are people that that he's put away. Also, you would think the babysitter... well, I would think if Denzel's character was such a star, like a nationwide star, and this lady's babysitting him, you would think she'd recognize the guy that helped him make to a star. But okay, I can understand. I can let that go. That's alright. But when it comes to conversation, Especially when he finds the tape. Oh yeah, there's this one guy with the power guy. What power guy? Yeah, okay, did he look like this? Did he look like this? Oh yeah, he looked like this. She saw this guy. He's dead, huh? Because I guess they don't assume that someone could just fake their death in a fire explosion when there's no way to really 100% make certain. I mean, whatever. I just don't think about that. The way it plays off, where Denzel decides to fuck with John Lithgow, he disses family into Ice-T. I do like the aspect with Ice-T. I don't mind Ice-T as a performer, surviving the game. I thought he was good in. I thought he did a good job here as well. I like that he bonds again with Ice-T, a childhood friend, overcoming the differences between them where he's in the drug and such. And Ice-T is still a loyal friend and helps him out. I thought that was rather nice. The way John Lithgow reacts when he thinks Denzel's blowing himself up. It's like, no, no. Because he wants Denzel to suffer more. And he thinks this is the easy way out. And like I said, there's style. Russell Mulcahy does bring style to his films. When the explosion happens and the camera cuts to Lithgow's eye, and you see the explosion reflected in his eye. Cool choices like that. Although I find it weird, no one notices John Lithgow. By this point, he has said that it's John Lithgow's character. John Lithgow, okay, there are a bunch of reporters there. They probably heard that this guy thinks it's this guy who's dead. John Lithgow is there plain as day in the middle of this crowd. No one sees him, especially when he's screaming. No one turns and goes, wait a minute, is that guy? He's in the middle of the crowd screaming, no, no, you can't do that. And no one notices him in the crowd like, hey, you're the guy who he said, no, not one person recognizes, whatever. You either go with it or you don't. Makes up a plan, fucks over Lithgow, guy gets impaled. You got the point now, didn't you? I like the way it ends with him saying no to the reporter. The reporter, Gail, is actually the same reporter in Die Hard. Same actress and same character. So technically this is in the Die Hard universe, which is interesting. It is the same actress and she's playing the exact same character, the same name. Gail, kiss my ass. Which is, again, that tone is the tone of the movie. It's just meant to be fun escapism. It's not a serious crime drama in the vein of The French Connection or Seven. It's more of a escapist, stylish, over-the-top, entertaining, big performances by his two leads, and a cool song at the end. I like the Ice-T song. Which is funny, I remember for years, I got this one song stuck in my head. Like, what's the name of the song? I remember one of the lyrics is, suicide, it's a suicide, it's a suicide, it's a suicide. For some reason, like when I would do reviews, and that word pops up, I go on this little suicide, it's a suicide. I never knew what the fuck that song, where it's from. I'm like, oh, it's from this movie, it's Ice-T, okay. I do like that song. Burn for the Ricochet. Yes, there are logic flaws. Yes, there's stuff that's just pretty grand. And, but part of me wonders, in retrospect, that's actually for the better. I do wonder if it tried to be more straightforward, if it would be not as memorable. But at the same time, this film doesn't even have a Blu-ray. It may have a Blu-ray overseas, but there's no Blu-ray in the US. Which surprised me, because this is Denzel Washington. John Lithgow's good at... No Blu-ray for Ricochet? I had to find a watch. I thought I had the film on DVD. I couldn't find it. So I guess I don't have the film on DVD, so I had to find it online to watch. And then I'm like, oh, is this film on Blu-ray? No. overseas, but it's not on Blu-ray. Well, that sucks. But like I said, yeah, it's over the top. I keep mentioning that. But the direction is stylish. The performances are big and entertaining. Denzel early on showing, like I said, energy and enthusiasm. John Lithgow, good preparation for his role in Cliffhanger. And Ice-T, nice to see him in the flick. Kevin Pollak, once in a while he does some impressions. He's a talented guy who usually you see as the co-star in films, but he's a talented guy. Yeah, really no issues acting-wise. Like I said, the score, a bit too much like Predator, which I'm sure he was told to do that. Because Alan Silvestri, same guy who did Back to the Future, and other scores, he just, again, kind of got stuck in making. Well, you gotta make it like that. Okay. And yeah. If you want to see John Lithgow and Jesse Ventura have a sword fight with books on, similar to Highlander, if you want to see some other crazy shit, it's fun. It's a fun film overall. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.